After 3 years at EXP Realty, get ready to dive into some truths about EXP. My team and I are about ready to lift the veil on some truths that led us to walk away from EXP. You'll discover an array of secrets and lack of transparency by EXP Realty. This is an exclusive insight promising to shatter your perceptions and open your eyes to a whole new perspective. Brace yourselves because today we're going to learn something about EXP Realty that there's no way that you will find this on the internet anywhere. Hey, before I get into the top 3 secrets about EXP, I want to give you some background on me and some of my credibility. I served in the U.S. Navy for 16 years and left as a chief petty officer. After the Navy, I decided a real estate career would be the best fit for me. I excelled very quickly. I then started building my real estate team. And for the past 4 years, we've been the #1 real estate team in Nevada. We did 600 transactions and $300 million last year, and we were the number 10 team of all of EXP for 2022. I'm super proud of my team and what we've accomplished. When I left EXP, I was the number 12 agent at a 90,000 for FLA count. I was actually at 113 total. I made almost 200,000 rev share last year. I share all of this with you to show it wasn't an easy choice to leave EXP, but it was the morally right one for me, my team, and my partners. Being honest and transparent is super important to me. All right, guys, starting off with the #1 top secret, the ICON program and the CAP program. I kind of lump these two together because they kind of go hand in hand. First, everyone talks about EXP being a $16,000 cap, but really, is it? No, because as soon as you complete your $16,000, you owe 20 more deals at $250, right? That's another $5,000. So really, your cap's like $21,000. I just wish that would be more honest, transparent from the get-go. That's kind of like saying that EXP loves to say there's no franchise fees. Well, really that $5,000 is a franchise fee if you think about it. Because in my last company with KW, our cap was $16,000 plus an additional $3,000 for the franchise fee. I don't see the difference. So let's just say you ICON, then congratulations. Because I wish all influencers that talk about it, attract you about ICON, were just a little bit more transparent. Because one thing they're not talking about is how hard it is to be an ICON at EXP. In fact, in the last 12 months, there was only 2,687 people at a 90,000. All right, not easy. In fact, that's only 2.9% of the entire company. So before claiming that someone can ICON, they really need to know how hard it can be. Just not saying, hey, come on over, let's ICON, here's your stock. It doesn't quite work that way. So hopefully you can be one of the lucky 3 people per 100 in the entire company to ICON. Not something easy to do. Once you do ICON, it must be one of the most complex things I've ever seen to get that $16,000 back in stock. In fact, all 3 years at EXP, I was an ICON agent. I never got my $16,000, right? You had to do this, show up to this, do this. It was the most complex thing I've ever heard. So I got half of it back. And in fact, let's just be honest. The guys that are ICON have a huge real estate business. I don't care if you're solo, you have a team, no matter what you're doing. You are doing real estate. You don't have time to go and do all these extra things. And in fact, when you go to these conferences, let's just be honest, these tickets at EXP were what? $1,000, $2,000 for a VIP, super expensive things. It was in fact more expensive to go to the events than was to get the stock back that you would have earned. So kind of a crazy little system there that they got there. So I just wish people were a little bit more truthful, a little bit more upfront and honest, instead of just blurting out, hey, you get your $16,000 back. My suggestion to EXP on the ICON program is to make it more transparent and easy to attain, especially for the agents doing really good real estate business. Okay, guys, #2 top secret, the rev share program. All right, this one really hits home to me because when my team and myself, we moved over 3 years ago, we were kind of talked about rev share, stock, here's what you're going to get. Well, looking back after 3 years, I really noticed that my partners and my team, nobody was really getting rev share. Now, myself, I did well. I'm not going to lie. I was making almost $200,000 last year. Rev share for me was great, but that wasn't the reason why I came over. It was really to uplift my team and my partners. So I was really shocked when I started doing some investigation and I looked into the numbers. You're going to be really blown away by this. So I took a deep dive into the RevShare program. Being that I'm a beta guy in the leadership, we're given a list every single month of every single agent in EXP and their total number of people they've attracted, their qualifiers, and all that stuff. So I have the data. And so I was like, let me break this down. Let me see what's really going on in here because something's not making sense to me. Okay, so when I took a look into these numbers, I was super shocked, and you will be too. So you have to understand that only 97.8% of everybody at EXP, 97.8, no one receives levels 2 through 7. I was blown away when I took a look at that. So that means only 2.2% of everyone in EXP had their levels 2 through 7 unlocked. Yes, that's including me. I had level 7. But once again, this isn't about me. This is about my team and my partners. And really, it comes down to the average agent at EXP. Okay? That was my biggest concern about all of this. So I had almost an hour phone call with Glenn Stanford, believe it or not. And I wanted to get down to the bottom of this and figure this out and go, what is really going on here? So when I was talking with Glenn on the phone, I point blank, I asked him, I said, Glenn, what was your vision for the company for RevShare? How many people do you believe should be in the RevShare program and getting it? I was really actually shocked. And I challenge anybody to go ask Glenn. I was actually on speakerphone with some of my team members, okay? He actually said 5%. And then he went on to say, well, Chris, I didn't build EXP for the average agent. I built it for team leaders like yourself because that's what I was too. And I paused and I took a look at it and I went, well, you did a good job doing that, but for the average agent, they're just not feeling the love. They're not receiving the rev share that they should. Now, I'm going to pull up this chart right now, and this chart is only as good as June of 2023, guys, because I left at the end of June. But go ahead and take a look at the chart. And this chart, I actually went ahead and built with their new FLQA of 30 when they moved that down for level 7. So I built this out so you can see level 30 plus, or for level 7 there's 30 plus, you're good to go. You can see the numbers. My whole point, guys, by raising the concerns for the rev share was it shouldn't be just the top agents at EXP getting rev share. It should be the average agent. Now, when EXP made this move just before, it was literally the day before, and I was on a phone call. They called me up and they said, Chris, we got exciting news for you. I'm like, okay, what's up? We're going to change the rev share program. I said, oh, thank God. What is it going to be? I was excited. I was like, cool. Maybe I don't have to leave anywhere. And they go, hey, we're going to take level 7 from 40 down to 30. I went, okay, cool. All right, that's good. What else? And it was a long pause. And they go, well, that's it. That's all we're doing. I said, are you guys kidding me right now? You guys missed my entire point by helping the average agent. Now you just made the top. You made the rich richer is basically what they did. And basically by moving the level from 40 down to 30, all they really did, they helped 23 people out. 23 people got helped out of 90,000. That's it. So I didn't understand it. I still don't get it. I believe that this is going to be EXP's fatal flaw. It's going to come back and haunt them. Promise you that. That you shouldn't have moved from 40 down to 30. You should have took care of the guys at the very bottom and made it a little bit easier to unlock the second level, the third level, the fourth level. I think the upper level should be hard to unlock. They shouldn't be easy. But for the average agent, your 1, 2, 3, 4, the 1, 2, 3 lines, those should be pretty easy to get. Okay, guys, I can give you guys countless people in EXP that have helped it grow today. And because they didn't meet the qualifier, they don't give me a rev share. Or if they're getting some, it's very, very little. But here's what I give you. There's hundreds of them, but I'm going to give you 3 examples, and I'll post them up here. But like example number 1, this guy brought in 3,813 people into EXP. But only because he has 4 qualifiers, he doesn't unlock his second level. Example number 2, 2,837, only 4 qualifiers. Once again, he doesn't get it to unlock his second level. And then example number 3, 930 people, only 2 qualifiers, doesn't get it unlocked level 2. This isn't how the system, how this should be. It just shouldn't be that way. These guys, one way or another, help EXP grow. And I don't care if it's EXP or future rev share companies. If you're helping the company grow, there should be some type of rev share back to those guys. Not just be left in the dust saying, hey, thanks, but you don't qualify. It's just not the right thing to do. So guys, that's why what you're seeing right now across the country, there are literally about 20 new rev share companies that have already started or are selling very, very fast. Now, what's interesting about all 20 of these new companies, all of them, they all have different things offering different value, but there's one thing they all have in common. They're only giving back half of their caps as rev share, and they have low qualifiers. Basically, what they're doing is what EXP did to KW, right? You hear it countless times that KW's foundation wasn't built to be able to do rev share. It wasn't built to be able to do things like this. Well, I believe EXP's foundation is broken too, and that they cannot compete going forward. They're not going to be able to compete with these new companies unless they change and change very quickly. If you want a long, sustainable rev share company, you need to involve as many agents as you can and reward them for help growing the company. The biggest thing that you can do is have a huge attrition problem. But as you can see with the numbers I've shown you, if only 2.2% of people are really getting rev share, and people really start to wake up and see what's going on, you're going to have a huge attrition problem very, very quickly. The amazing thing is that I asked multiple EXP people that are in the very high end of leadership, very senior people, let's just say people that were in the top 20 of EXP for team leaders. I've asked them. What I found that was really unique and what caused me to do this video is that nobody knew the numbers. In fact, guys, you can go back in history and try to find me on YouTube. You're not going to see me. I just don't like video. I actually hate it, right? But I feel it's so important to get this information out and to hopefully cause some change, and that EXP will wake up and help the average agent out. Like I said before, but I'm going to re-say it again. This information isn't to harm EXP. It's to help them make some changes, and to help the agents that are still there at EXP. Also, if you're at Real Broker and you're watching this video, you're in bigger trouble, guys. You can take the exact same data and extrapolate it to you guys, about 10,000 agents at your company. Problem is, you guys need 10 qualifiers to unlock your second level. I don't have your data, but I can tell you it's much, much worse than EXP's. Okay, guys, number 3, top secret with EXP. It's the SRS buffer system, also known as the Sustainable Revenue Share Buffer. This is going to shock everyone. You may have actually never heard of this before. Don't be surprised, many people haven't. So first, what does buffer mean? A person or thing that prevents people or things from coming into contact with or harming each other. Did you hear that? Buffer. So the first thing they should do is take the word buffer out of it, because the buffer system actually hurts every single person in EXP. So what is the buffer system? Well, honestly, it's not going to be something easy to explain, but I'm going to do my best. I spent over an hour on a Zoom with EXP's top 3, I don't know what you call them, mathematics majors, PhDs. Like, to understand the system, you really do need a degree from MIT, but I'm going to do my best to explain it. So every month, EXP puts in a buffer, okay? This pulls out more rev share to the company than they're supposed to. Usually the amount's about 27 to 30%. It varies month to month. And at the end of the month, they're going to balance the books. Now, when they take out, they're going to definitely take out more than 50%. Then at the end of the month, they have to balance the books, like I said. Usually that number's around 38% of what they paid out, which means now they owe a bonus. So now you'll see that on your rev share as a bonus. Well, guys, it's really not a bonus. It's actually money they're giving back that they stole. I like the word steal because that's what it is. Because when I came to EXP, no one told me about the buffer system. No one explained it to me. They said, hey, here's your 7 levels. This is what you get on rev share per person. Unlock this. It all made sense to me, but we actually don't get that. And I don't know anybody that knows this. So if what they owe is, if they took out too much and it's at 38%, they give us back a bonus of about 10 to 12%. Now, here comes the more interesting part. If they owe 10 to 12%, you only get this bonus on your levels 1 through 3. If you're if you're levels 4 through higher, through 7, there's no bonus. You don't get anything on it. So if you're at EXP currently and you're still really super happy, definitely work on your levels 1, 2, and 3 because you get a bonus on those levels only. Super confusing, isn't it? It is so confusing and so complex that I couldn't even find one person in leadership, not one, that could explain it to me. I even had a call with the chief strategy officer, and at least he was honest with me. He was like, hey, Chris, I really don't understand it that well. I was like, great. And every time I talked to someone in leadership, someone that was high up, even the alpha group, talk to anybody, I literally got a different answer on every single one. That is why I took the time before I even wanted to understand it. I took over an hour on a Zoom with EXP's 3 guys that sit in the back room and move the knobs and decide how much rev share they're going to pay out, how much they're going to take, and what type of bonus it's going to be. Honestly, I've heard Glenn say many times, I heard him publicly, I've been at events, he always said that he would pay out at least 50% of rev share. Always. And when I'm sitting there in the crowd and I'm hearing him say this, I understand now, learning the buffer system, what he's talking about, that the company will always pay back the 50%. That's not how I took it. I took it no matter financially how the company's doing, no matter what's going on, they will at least give back 50% of the rev share. So, interesting enough, I can't blame Glenn. He's literally said it on stage, but no one really understands what he's actually saying. Hey, the second thing I'm going to say here, guys, is don't blame your sponsor. Don't blame these YouTube influencers, that want to put out there and this is what you make. Literally, no one can explain this, and nobody knows about it. But what I'm doing right now, hopefully, is educating you. And now you get to share this with your sponsors. Share this with the YouTube influencers. Don't ever allow someone ever again to say, hey, come to EXP. This is what you get on every level. Because you don't. Not with this buffer system put in place. And by the way, it was put in almost 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Couldn't even find the exact date when it was put in place, to be honest with you. That's how obscure this is and how nobody knows anything about it. Hopefully, this is going to shake up a few things, and maybe they'll actually put out a paper, official company video that explains the buffer system. It's super crazy. But this is why you can't use those rev share calculators anymore. I remember when I first came in, they were like, hey, don't use these calculators, don't use these calculators. All these excuses why not to use them. Well, guys, this is the reason why. Because they're not accurate. Because they're taking extra rev share every single month with the buffer system. So depending on which month it is, level 1 through 3, you actually only get about 75 to 80% of the rev share you're supposed to get. And levels 4 through 7, you only get 70 to 75% of the rev share you're supposed to get. Crazy, isn't it? I know this is all super confusing, but basically the rev share program at EXP is broken. And it's not as advertised when people join. I even asked the question at the very end of the Zoom with the 3 EXP employees that were trying to explain this buffer system to me. I go, so let me ask you guys a question. I think I get this finally. If all 90,000 agents had all 7 levels unlocked, then you would set the buffer system at 50%? And they all said, yes, you get it. And I was like, yeah, I get it. And I'm really, really pissed. Like, this is not what was told to us. This is not what's explained. You can't find this information anywhere. And I know that if everybody at EXP knew this, they would be upset too. So do me a favor, at least for this portion with this buffer system. You need to share this to everybody, and you need to get it changed. It's the craziest thing, and it's just not right. And this was really the last breaking point for me, my team, my partners, my leadership, that we were just like, this is crazy. I couldn't even believe it was true. But after the digging and digging real deep into it and finding out and asking the questions, yeah, it's true. So to wrap things up, these were the reasons why we decided to make the move and leave EXP. The lack of transparency, lies, and mistruths. They were all very disturbing. I mean, the things I found out as I dug deeper and deeper, it was worse and worse and worse. At the very end of it, we all collectively made the decision, we need to leave. I then also had to figure out, let's just say we stayed. How honestly could we have fixed this stuff? I even went to the top leadership, including Glenn, and gave them ideas, and none of them were ever taken seriously or put in place. Now, I understand why some of them aren't, because the one problem you have to remember that EXP is a publicly traded company. They owe a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders. And any massive change to the rev share program, the ICON program, this is all going to affect profitability. And they just can't do it right away, right? Right now, growth is great. Things are good. They're profitable. Why go in there and change things? Well, I'm not the type of leader that just goes, oh, we'll only fix it when there's a problem. I have a great ability to see things down the road. And I really, really fear for what's about ready to happen with EXP, especially when people start to find out all these truths. I get it that you need to be profitable, but the foundation at EXP has cracks. And some may even could say it's broken. And it's only going to get worse. So, knowing all these facts, knowing what we're going to do, I started down almost 6 months ago, started going, okay, if we're leaving and this is what we're going to do, what else is out there? What else is going to be better than EXP? And so I vetted out almost 6 new rev share companies. I looked at every single one of them. I talked to a couple of their CEOs. I just looked at every single one of them. I said, well, which one's going to be here to help the average agent? Who's going to be able to participate, be rewarded for helping grow that company? I picked the one that was most in line with my team values, my partner's values, and the one that was actually going to give some value back as a real estate company back to those agents. A company that the average agent has the ability to get rev share, stock, and value to their real estate business, right? Not just rev share, stock, but we need a real estate brokerage that's actually going to help someone produce and generate more business. This is why my team, my partners, and myself, we picked LPT Realty. And I love that they were just today nominated as Inman's top real estate brokerage. If you'd like to discuss more about why I left EXP or why I joined LPT Realty, feel free to reach out, contact me. Let's chat about it. I'm happy to talk as long as we can. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys.